Pharaoh, he sought to have Moses killed. But Moses ran away from Pharaoh until he reached the land of Midian. There he sat down beside a well. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters. While Moses was sitting there resting from his journey, they came to get water from the well in order to fill the troughs with water for their father's flock. At that moment, a band of shepherds came and forced the priest's flocks away from the well. But Moses stood up for the young women, came to their rescue, and even watered their father's flock for them. The women returned to their father Reuel. He was also known as Jethro. Many people and places in the scriptures have more than one name. Jethro is likely his given name, while Reuel is his priestly name. Jethro said, "Why are you back so early today?" The women, "An Egyptian was at the well, and he saved us from the bullying of the shepherds. He even drew water from the well and watered the flock for us." Jethro said, "Where is this man? Why did you leave him at the well? Go find him and invite him over for a meal." After experiencing Jethro's hospitality, Moses agreed to come and live with him, and eventually Jethro arranged for one of the daughters, Zipporah, to marry Moses. Later, Zipporah became pregnant and gave birth to a son, and Moses named the child Gershom, because, as he explained, "I have been an outsider in a foreign land." What begins as a dinner invitation turns into an adoptive home for this wandering fugitive. Through all the twists and turns in Moses' life, God is preparing him for a special task. Since he is raised by his Hebrew mother, he hears the stories of his people and learns to love them and identify with their suffering. Since he becomes part of Pharaoh's extended family, he knows how to gain access to power. Since he spends these years in the land of Midian, taking care of Jethro's flocks, he has an intimate connection with a land through which one day he will lead a vast company of people. In the meantime, Moses must figure out who he is and whose he is, for soon there will be a job to do. Many years later, Egypt's king dies. The Israelites continued to mourn because of their bondage, and they cried out to be rescued from their oppression. Their cry for help ascended to God. He heard pleas and remembered the covenant he made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. God saw the situation the people of Israel were in, and he was moved to take action. All right. This is Exodus 2. I talked about Exodus 1 and 2, about Moses, how he was born, and this Pharaoh here, he knew nothing about Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, or any of that. He knew that Moses, that the Hebrews were growing. There were a large number, and he said, "Oh, they're growing so much more than we are." And he got afraid, and he said, "Well, we are going to just kill off every baby boy, because they're multiplying so much, and if they grow so much and more of them grow, and they're going to outnumber us, and they may go ahead and we go to war or whatever. They may be on the opposing side and we may lose." So, he was worried about his power and everything. So, that's what happened. And this is how Moses was born. And his mother hid him for 3 months until she couldn't hide him no more. And Moses was a very, very, very beautiful baby. Very, very beautiful baby. And they made a basket for him. This story here says that, the first story says, I think, did say his sister. I think his sister, or, I can't remember who it was, but anyway, I believe it was a daughter, Moses' sister, and the mom made the basket. And they sailed him along the river and put him in there. And Pharaoh's daughter, she was in the water. And I think she was bathing and so forth. And here comes this baby. This baby over there stuck in the reeds. And when she saw that baby, she fell in love with that baby. And she took that baby. And so the little sister came up and asked, do you need anyone to nurse the baby? And she said yes. Pharaoh's daughter said yes. So the daughter went and got Moses' mother, which I'm assuming that was her mother as well. And she had Moses, and she nursed him, so she was able to be there for him. And so Moses, he saw both the worlds. He saw how his people, the Hebrews, were being treated, and then he lived a good life over there with Pharaoh and them as well. So this is the beginnings of Moses. And we know that God used him mightily. And so there are more and more and more stories about Moses and what he did and God. And I mean, God used him mightily. God loved Moses. So go ahead and read the book of Exodus. And I'm just going through the Bible. And I'm reading stories by stories for a season. Until that season is up, I don't know. But in between time, I just come to you. I keep it real. And I let you know what's going on out here and what's happening. So anytime you want, you can drop me a message. Go to again to glendacoker.com, check it out. And from time to time on Blog Talk Radio, I give you a number to call in. If you want to just call in and speak and just tell the goodness of the Lord and the things that God has done to you and for you and doing. And also you want to comment on anything that I'm speaking on. So I give you that opportunity from time to time. Sometimes I don't leave those shows up. Sometimes I don't leave those shows up. I do those shows, and everything is live. So just stay abreast. Just stay tuned. Things are constantly changing. And I pray that you got something out of this. Read. And I also do write. I write, and I write poetry as well. And some of these things that I'm talking about, I've written the stories here in poetry form and format, and it's really good for children and adults as well. When I read the poetry, I don't know if I'm going to put them all in a book or not, or how I'm going to do it, but I may read some of that back to you on the show, but from time to time. But that poetry, it just really is a synopsis of what's going on in one of the stories in the Bible, Jonah and the whale or whatever, maybe a poetry, and it just, gives you that synopsis so you can say, wow, I like this story. I like that poem. And I'm going to go to the scriptures and I'm going to read the full account. So that's what it does for you, the poetry. So from time to time, I will be reading that. I'm not sure if, I don't think I did one on this story about Moses. I don't think I did anything about Moses. I don't know, I might do one in the future. But this is how Moses came along the scene. This is how Moses was born. And you can, again, read and see how God spoke to Moses, the burning bush, and everything. He used him mightily. And his brother Aaron and everything. So many stories about Moses in the Bible. So, I don't know where I'm going next week. I don't know what story I'll be talking about or what I'll be talking about. It just depends on where the Holy Spirit leads me. From time to time I can say, well, next week I'm going to be doing this or going to be doing that. And then there's usually a change. So just stay tuned. Every week, just about every week will be a surprise. And stay connected to the Tuesday replays. That's on Tuesday, same station, same time, wherever you're listening from. Tuesday replays at 12 o'clock. And the shows again on Thursday, and then from time to time, Blog Talk Radio. I've been talking about Israel, Jerusalem, and things over there, what's going on. And there's just so much war going on and things over there on the Temple Mount. And just back and forth, fighting and fire bombs and so much going on over there. I might come on and do a show about one of those articles that I read. They're over there fighting. There's the Israeli police. They have their station there on the Temple Mount, and one of the Arab terrorists or whatever, or a couple people bombed or threw a bomb toward there, all on the Temple Mount. And so a couple people got hurt, smoke inhalation. So there is a lot going on over there, fighting and everything. There are mosques. I think they're just another one that's built. I think it's about 5 mosques right there on the Temple Mount. And so, they're over there back and forth. The Arabs, Jews, everything is just back and forth. And we know that Jesus is coming. Jesus is coming soon. And he is going to sit on his throne. And that Temple Mount, that over there, all that's going on, Jesus is holy. There's going to be a new Jerusalem coming down from heaven. He's going to sit on the holy throne. All that's going to be gone. All that fighting and everything on that Temple Mount, all that, Jesus is not coming down on that. And there's no telling what else went on. Is there any bloodshed on there? Anyone passed away or died or whatever? I don't know. We don't know. So there's just a lot going on back and forth. So if you read your scriptures and you look and see what's going on, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, the four fathers there and everything was going on, and the Arabs are saying they're the chosen people and things like that. They are the descendants, and it's just so much back and forth. A lot of history between the two. So go ahead and listen to my shows and listen. Go on glendacoker.com and just listen. I think I have those shows integrated. Some of those shows integrated from Blog Talk Radio as well. I do have those on Spreaker.com. The 2 shows that I have on Blog Talk, and I think 1 or 2 of those shows integrated on my show, the Sister G Loves God show, and that you can go on glendacoker.com and check those out. I can't think of the name of the topics, but just scroll down right there. I have a player right there embedded. So I want to thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Any questions, any comments, you know where I'm at. always, stay connected. Follow me on social media sites and I will follow you back. I have all my contact information, everything. Scroll down to the bottom of the